Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Today we are from class 3SC4. My name is Putri Nabila Hapsari.
My name is Betari Qanitah Zulfa.
Today we want to discuss about data architecture. Uh, so let's see the presentation.
This is the contents of the presentation.
And then this is the background. Background is the architecture of a system describes its major components. There is the relationships or structures and how they interact with each other. Software architecture and design includes several contributory factors such as business strategy, quality attributes, human dynamics, design, and IT environment.
Next is definition of system architecture design. System architecture design, sometimes simply known as system design, is a conceptual representation of the components and subcomponents that reflects the behavior of a system. In the design planning phase of a new data processing and storage system, data architecture should be defined. The major types and source of data necessary to support an enterprise should be identified in a manner that is complete, concise, and understandable.
Next is type of system architecture. The first type is integrated, which is fit for purpose, and the next is distributed, which is fit for scale, and then pooled, which is fit for efficiency, and then converged, which is fit for agility.
Next, the process of system architecture design. First, analyze the requirements. Second, define use cases for the system. Next, identify processor or modules to implement the use cases.
Fourth is selecting operating system and hardware platform. The fifth, assign requirements to individual processors or modules. Sixth, define sequence diagrams at processor level.
Definition of data architecture. Data architecture of models, policies, rules, or standards that govern how data is stored, how data is arranged, how data is integrated, how data is put to use, what and how data is collected.
Then this is the history of data architecture. The first one is the early data architecture. Early data architecture have no distributed systems. Users are still less, transactions were less. So whole data can be handled on single server.
Next is traditional data architecture. Over the period of time, when more users got workstation and automated systems start generating data, front-end and back-end systems were split. But this creates data integrity problems.
Because the traditional ones still have some problems, uh, there is advanced data architecture. In order to solve for disaster recovery, secondary site came into picture. Different replication and backup or store options were chosen for databases and data warehouses based on their sizes, but latency at the BI or reporting site was still a problem.
In advanced data architecture, there is there is some problems that can be solved using the complex and lambda architecture in modern data architecture.
And then there's still problems in the modern data architecture, so that problems can be solved using pipelining. A pipeline is a set of data processing elements connected in series where the output of one element is the out, is the input of the next one.
Next is purpose of data architecture. The first purpose to help gain a better understanding of the data. Second, provides guidelines for managing data. Third, provides a structure upon which to develop and implement data governance. Next, help with enforcement of security and privacy. And last, support business intelligence and data warehousing activities.
This is the components of data architecture. The first one is management information system. The implementation comes in a form of decision support systems, business intelligence systems, several of the reporting systems, etc. The second, aggregation, where the data is stored in a database and collect all the data in various tables that is already prepared in the database and will be used for any kind of analysis. The third, analytical processing, where the dimensional modeling is performed. The fourth, transformation, the online analytical processing (OLAP) aspect of the data. And the last, generation of data in form of online transaction processing or OLTP. This considers how the data is captured and recorded in the current operational database and how it was there archived and then put in data warehouse, which is the LAP data.
Workflow of data architecture. This is the workflow of data architecture. So the source can be real-time and batch. Ulang. This is the workflow of data architecture. Data start with operational source, which usually refers to transactional data. Then there is data integration, that is about data movement and transformation between source and target systems, which usually refers to transactional data. Data warehouse or data lake refers to central data storage components where it. On the other hand, data marts or subject-oriented dataset that is feed data warehouse or data lake. For example, the data from sales, HR, finance, inventory, etc. Finally, there is analytics layer which provides reporting and analysis capabilities to business users. Last but not least, effectiveness and consistency in the data transfer is ensured by shared data service.
And then there are best practices that can help to achieve an effective holistic data architecture. There are few data as shared asset, provide the right interfaces for users to consume data, ensure tiered security and access control, encourage data stewardship, data curation, eliminate copies and data movement. And the last is automation. And this is the conclusion and suggestion.
So we can conclude that in system architecture design there is the theory called data architecture. Data architecture refers to the models, policies, rules, or standards that govern which data is collected and how it is stored, arranged, and put to use in database system and or in an organization.
Last but not least, the suggestion is from this discussion data about data architecture. We hope that the readers is know more about data architecture because it can make a bunch of data organized well, so it can make people easier to access data. This data architecture evolving with some types. The modern one is more effective, simple, and efficient, but still have some problems. So it is better to use pipelining that can make those problems are solved. So that is our presentation about data architecture. We are so sorry for all the mistakes that we've made. Thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.